You only worry when they're not making sound and they're fucking wrecking something. Now, one thing that I've had a fair few times lately is people with fish tanks, but more so ponds, when they go and fill it up with the garden hose. So if you're just putting a little bit of water in, just a little bit, and then maybe tomorrow a little bit, no big drama. But you got to be aware that tap water often has chlorine in it. And so therefore, if you do a really big top up or a really big water change and you're putting a lot of water in it, you're potentially putting a lot of chlorine into it. And if you put a lot of chlorine into it, what's going to happen is you're going to kill the good bacteria in your filter. And if you clean the good bacteria in your filter, then over a period of time, it's likely your fish will die. And the other thing that's really tricky is that people will come in and say, oh, I've been doing this for years, never been a problem. Why is it a problem this time? And there's two main reasons why it might be a problem this time. The main reason is that Sydney tap water doses chlorine to a maximum minimum level. So when the pathogens build up in the water, they hit it. When there's no pathogens in the water, they don't add the chlorine. Like in the 90s or whatever, they used to put chlorine in the water, and then the bugs used to get used to the chlorine, so then they used to put more chlorine in the water, and then the bugs get used to the chlorine, so they put more chlorine in the water, and that gets expensive. So now what they do is they send out people to do these tests. When they find pathogens in a particular water pipe, they'll then send chlorine down that pipe, which means that you could do the same water change or the same top up 20 times, 50 times, 100 times, you might be totally fine. But then you do it that one time when they've dosed the chlorine, and then bingo, you've killed all your bacteria and it's potentially killed all your fish. So that's just something to be aware of. The other thing is that over time, your fish grow, your fish breed, you get more fish. Then if you go topping the pond up too much, get chlorine in, suddenly you're talking about dead fish because there's more fish in there producing more waste, therefore more reliance of the bacteria. So just be safe and either just top up a little bit at a time, add a little bit of water ager, or if you're topping the whole thing up, you've either got to put the water in the bucket, treat the water in the bucket and then tip it in the pond, or let it fill up a few centimeters, then treat the whole pond. Let it fill up a few centimeters, then treat the whole pond. You can't just treat the water going in, otherwise you end up with chlorine and dead fish.